Hey, good afternoon, Keenon. We just got done running your 502 big block Chevy EFI engine on the dyno. Thing turned out awesome. I mean, it's a gorgeous looking engine with this March system on the front. Of course, the belt will be on there all adjusted up for you. Got chrome valve covers. We got the block painted orange for you. This, of course, is the upgrade Edelbrock cylinder block that we love. The thing seems very, very nice. Got a lot of nice reinforcement in some really critical areas over the Chevrolet blocks. This engine, of course, features a fully forged rotating assembly. Of course, the block is fully remachined to our specifications. We got the Edelbrock Perform RPM cylinder heads. By the way, we put our own valve springs and Viton seals. Set all the spring heights up for the valve pressures to match the custom ground hydraulic roller camshaft that we spec'd out for this combination. Under the Edelbrock valve covers, we got fully rollized stainless rockers, one-piece push rods. I mean, really a bulletproof valve train. Should have many, many years of worry-free enjoyment with this thing. You don't have to worry about getting on it. This combination also features an air gap intake manifold with Edelbrock. We've got a billet distributor from MSD. Timing curve is all set. The timing is being controlled by the distributor. The EFI is not controlling the timing. We prefer to control it this way. You got about a total of 36 degrees. If you rev it up to 3,000 RPM, that's all you need. Don't put any more on it. For the pump gas, of course, use 93 octane fuel when possible. And of course, sitting on top, we got the Flytech EFI throttle body. Very simple. A few wires to hook up. You got a return line. You got a pressure in line. You can actually use either one of these three inlets here for your pressure in, but of course the return always has to be this out port here. And of course, it actually is cast right into the throttle body. They're very simple. This thing should idle at 800 RPMs right now the way it is. It's all set up for you. If you have any issues at all, give Steve a call. Once in a while when they put the engines in the car, we just got to tweak the idle a little bit to compensate for the extra load on there from the transmission and torque converter and so forth. So you shouldn't have any problems at all. Make sure that you put a really good sized radiator and dual cooling fan system in here to keep this bad boy running at a reasonable temperature. This engine is going to run probably between 190 and 200 degrees most of the time, unless you're caught in a very, very worst conditions, humidity and temperature and so forth. 210's probably the max. If you get caught in a situation, my suggestion is if you can't control it, you get stuck in traffic or something, just pull over for a little while, and take a break. Let that thing cool down a little bit. Big blocks do tend to run a little bit warmer. They always had it, right from the original motors built in the 1950s. So there you have it. One thing we like to address is running a coiled or ribbed lower radiator hose on the suction side. This is our dyno setup here, so it kind of simulates that. So please do that. It's very, very critical. On the other side, if you want to put some kind of fancy hose on there, we don't really care. But the suction side, especially with these March pulley systems, they're kind of hopped up a little bit over stock systems, and that pump's really going to spin, and it's going to create a lot of suction. So if you don't have that right reinforced hose on there, you're going to have some cooling issues. We've already had to deal with some people on the phone who ignored our warnings and put a beautiful molded hose on there, and it's fine for the first few times. It heats up and cools down, but then it just gets soft and it'll just start to collapse under suction. Very critical. Transmission installation. We ask that with the engine on the ground, before you put it in the vehicle, take the torque converter out of the box, put it right up, and make sure that the rear nub of the converter fits into the recess of the crankshaft. It should not interfere or touch or do anything. If it does, you got to address that situation either by just simply taking a paint off the converter or opening up the back of the crank where that nub goes in. Most of the time, there's no problem, but we've had a few issues over the years with people that don't heed our warnings that we give them in the video, and they ended up pushing the crankshaft forward and eventually wiping out the thrust barrier. So please make sure you got that under control. Also make sure the converter is fully gauged into the transmission. 3 clicks. Remember, with the bell housing bolted up to the motor, you should always have to pull that converter a good half to 3/4 of an inch out and up against your flex plate. If you don't have that situation, don't continue. Give us a call, give a transmission expert a call. Try to have a good mechanic helping you with the installation. It's very, very critical. And of course, if it's a stick, make sure you got the proper pilot bushing, and make sure that input shaft of the transmission goes in and out of that pilot bushing without getting bound up. We've had a couple motors come back for rebuilds, and they've had wiped out pilot bushing, so we want to warn everybody. Make sure you pre-check all that stuff before you put the engine and trans in the car. Hey man, you got a great engine here, making some awesome power. Steve's gonna send you a copy of the dyno video, and of course you'll get all the digital photographs of the build from the beginning to the very end. Thanks for choosing Performance Unlimited for your custom turnkey hot rod engine, and good luck with your project.